Today, we're uncovering 12 terrifying legends, chilling stories that still haunt Salem, Massachusetts. Number 1. The Witch House. In the heart of Salem stands a dark wooden house with steep gables, known today as the Witch House. Built in 1682, it was the home of Judge Jonathan Corwin, one of the men who presided over the infamous witch trials of 1692. As frightened villagers brought their neighbors before the court, Corwin listened to accusations that sent innocent people to their deaths. The house itself became tied to those events, a silent witness to fear, suspicion, and the power of belief. Visitors who step inside today say the building feels heavy, almost as if the walls remember what happened. Some claim to hear whispers drifting through the hallways when no one else is around. Shadows are said to move across the upstairs rooms, and sudden cold drafts sweep through even on warm summer days. Guides often tell stories of footsteps echoing above, as if Judge Corwin himself still paces, unable to leave the place where so many lives were judged. What makes the witch house so eerie is that it is the only surviving home directly linked to the witch trials. Every beam and floorboard connects visitors to that dark moment in American history. Imagine standing in a room where frightened witnesses once gathered, and where decisions sealed the fate of accused villagers. Even skeptics find themselves unsettled when touring the house. Whether it is tricks of the imagination or something more, the witch house has become one of Salem's most famous haunted sites. Families come to see history, but often leave with goosebumps, wondering if perhaps they brushed past a spirit still clinging to the past. Number 2. Witches' Ghosts. The Salem witch trials ended more than 300 years ago, but many locals say the victims never truly left. Among the most famous is Bridget Bishop, the first woman executed during the trials. Legend says her restless spirit still wanders Salem. Visitors often report catching the scent of apples, which she was known for growing in her orchard. The sweet smell drifts suddenly through taverns and old buildings, vanishing just as quickly, leaving behind only questions. Other stories tell of Rebecca Nurse, Sarah Good, and other innocent women who lost their lives. People claim to feel their presence in the old cemeteries, where shadows linger near the stones even when no one is nearby. Sometimes a strange stillness falls over these places, as if the air itself is heavy with sorrow. What makes these legends so powerful is the idea of justice denied. These were ordinary men and women, caught in hysteria, condemned without real proof. For some, believing their spirits linger is a way to give them back a voice. When footsteps echo in empty halls, or lights flicker for no reason, many locals whisper that the witches of Salem are letting the living know they are still here. Over the years, tourists and ghost hunters alike have shared countless stories. From mysterious photos to sudden chills, the tales grow each season. Whether one believes or not, the witches' ghosts have become part of Salem's identity. They keep alive the lesson of what happened in 1692, warning future generations never to let fear decide justice again. Number 3. Joshua Ward House. On Washington Street stands a stately brick mansion built in 1784, known as the Joshua Ward House. At first glance, it looks like any other elegant home from the past. but its foundations hold a much darker story. The house was built on the site of the old jail, where accused witches were once held. It was also near the home of Sheriff George Corwin, remembered in history as the Strangler, for his brutal treatment of prisoners during the trials. People say the spirits of those who suffered there never left. Guests have felt unseen hands grip their throats, as if Corwin himself still stalks the rooms. Others report hearing cries of pain echoing through the halls, or the sound of bottles tipping over by invisible force. One of the most chilling tales comes from a photograph taken in the 1980s, where the ghostly outline of a woman appeared in a real estate agent's picture, even though no one had been standing there. The house's haunting reputation has made it one of Salem's most feared locations. Employees and visitors describe feeling an intense pressure, as though watched by something angry. Some claim to see the faint figure of a child, its voice crying softly from the shadows. For many, the Joshua Ward House feels less like a museum and more like a doorway into the city's darkest past. Today it serves as a reminder of how Salem's history is never far away. Behind its red brick walls linger memories of pain and injustice, turned into ghostly legends. Whether the spirits are real or imagined, the stories continue to chill those who dare to step inside. Number 4. Spectre Ship of Salem. On foggy nights along Salem Harbor, old sailors used to tell a tale that chilled the bones. They spoke of a ghostly vessel, its sails glowing faintly, as if lit from within, gliding silently across the horizon. Known as the Spectre Ship of Salem, this phantom appeared most often at sunset or just before a storm. Witnesses swore it moved against the wind, slipping across the water with no crew in sight, only to vanish as suddenly as it came. One version of the legend says the ship belonged to a young couple who sailed from Salem long ago. Their voyage ended in disaster when the vessel sank at sea, leaving no survivors. Locals believed the doomed ship was cursed to return, replaying its final journey over and over. Some swore they could hear faint cries carried on the wind, the last echoes of a crew calling for help that never came. What makes this story so haunting is how it ties to Salem's proud seafaring past. In the late 1700s and early 1800s, Salem was one of America's busiest ports. Merchant ships carried wealth and hope, but every voyage also carried risk. Storms, pirates, and shipwrecks were constant dangers. The legend of the Spectre ship became a symbol of all those lost at sea, a reminder that even in times of prosperity, tragedy was never far away. Even now, people gather by the water's edge, hoping to catch a glimpse of its sails against the twilight. Whether it is just mist and imagination or something supernatural, the phantom ship remains a favorite tale of Salem. It carries with it mystery, sorrow, and the idea that some journeys are too powerful to be forgotten. Number 5. House of the Seven Gables. On Turner Street in Salem stands the House of the Seven Gables, a striking mansion built in 1668. Its dark timbers and peaked roof lines inspired Nathaniel Hawthorne to write his famous novel of the same name. Yet, beyond its place in literature, the mansion has long been linked to ghostly legends that make it one of Salem's most talked-about sites. Many believe the old house is still home to spirits from its long and storied past. One of the most enduring tales is that of a ghostly boy who roams the second floor. Visitors have reported hearing the patter of small footsteps or laughter drifting down empty hallways. A few even claim to have glimpsed his shadow darting across rooms before vanishing into thin air. Some say he was once the child of a servant, while others believe he is connected to the Hawthorne family itself. The house also carries the legend of Susan Ingersoll, who lived there into her 90s. Guests say they have seen her ghostly figure wandering slowly through the halls or gazing out of windows. In the attic, visitors have described a chilling presence, sometimes even the feeling of unseen hands grabbing at their shoulders. With each creak of the floorboards, the house seems alive, whispering secrets from centuries past. Today, the mansion is open to the public, drawing visitors from around the world. People come to see its history, but many leave with goosebumps and a story of their own. Whether or not its ghosts are real, the House of the Seven Gables continues to embody Salem's blend of history and legend, where fact and folklore walk side by side. Number 6. Ghostly, familiar cats. Not all of Salem's legends are about people. Some of the city's most curious spirits are cats. During the witch trials of 1692, many accused women were said to keep animal companions known as familiars, often imagined as black cats. Over time, stories grew that these creatures never left Salem, and that their ghostly forms still roam the city's streets, inns, and taverns. In some places, these phantom felines are so common they feel like part of the city. At the Salem Inn, guests have felt a cat brushing against their legs, only to find nothing there. At Bunghole Liquors, once a funeral parlor, customers claim to see glowing eyes in the dark corners of the bar. Some visitors even sneeze or feel their allergies flare up, as if a real cat were nearby, though no animal is present. For locals, the ghost cats are seen less as frightening and more as watchful guardians. They are reminders of Salem's past, playful echoes of the witches who once walked the cobbled streets. Tourists love these stories because they add a touch of mystery that feels magical rather than menacing. Ghost hunters, on the other hand, take the tales seriously, hoping to catch one of these feline spirits on camera. Whether real or imagined, Salem's ghostly cats have become part of the city's character. They are quiet, shadowy, and a little mischievous, just like cats in life. For anyone wandering Salem at night, the thought of a witch's familiar watching from the shadows makes the city feel even more enchanted and alive with legend. Number 7. Proctor's Ledge. In 1692, Salem was a town consumed by fear, and Proctor's Ledge became the stage for one of its darkest chapters. Here, 19 innocent people accused of witchcraft were hanged, their cries echoing through the crowd that gathered below. For years, the true location of the executions was lost, until modern research confirmed this small, rocky rise as the site where those tragic events unfolded. Today, it is a quiet neighborhood spot, but the air still carries the weight of history. Legends say the spirits of the victims remain tied to the ledge. On certain nights, people claim to see a pale figure in white drifting across the rocks. Others have reported hearing soft weeping or whispered voices, as though the condemned still linger, waiting for justice that never came. The silence of the area often feels heavier than anywhere else in Salem, as if the past has rooted itself deep into the ground. For locals, Proctor's Ledge has become more than a ghost story. It is a place of remembrance. Families and visitors leave flowers and tokens, honoring the men and women who lost their lives to fear and superstition. Yet even in this reverence, some say strange lights flicker among the trees, and sudden chills sweep through, no matter the season. Walking near Proctor's Ledge today, it's easy to understand why this legend endures. The quiet streets hide centuries of sorrow, and the memory of those who died still shapes the way Salem remembers its past. Whether or not the ghosts are truly there, the sense of haunting is undeniable. Number 8. Old Salem Jail. The Old Salem Jail, built in 1813, once housed criminals, debtors, and even some of the most infamous figures in Massachusetts history. Its thick stone walls and iron bars were meant to keep people in, but many believe they now keep restless spirits from leaving. For over 150 years, the jail stood as a place of misery, and when it closed in the 1990s, it left behind more than just crumbling cells. Visitors and former guards alike have told stories of eerie encounters. Shadowy figures are said to appear along the stairways, only to vanish when approached. Some claim to hear the rattle of chains dragging across the floor, or muffled cries echoing in the darkness. One chilling tale tells of a man who felt someone brush past him in an empty corridor, leaving behind the cold smell of damp stone and smoke. The jail is also linked to Salem's witch trial history. Sheriff George Corwin, known for his brutal treatment of prisoners in 1692, once lived nearby, and some believe his spirit may have carried over to the jail. Others point to the restless souls of inmates who died behind its walls, forever bound to the place where they suffered. The building's heavy atmosphere has made it one of Salem's most feared locations. Though the old Salem Jail has since been renovated into modern apartments, the legends remain. Residents occasionally report strange noises, flickering lights, and a sense of being watched. For many, the transformation cannot erase the site's haunted reputation, proving that Salem's ghosts adapt just as the city itself has over time. Number 9. Howard Street Cemetery. Tucked away in Salem lies the Howard Street Cemetery, established in 1844, but tied to an even earlier and darker story. This quiet graveyard is said to be haunted by Giles Corey, one of the most tragic figures of the witch trials. In 1692, Corey was accused of witchcraft and pressed to death under heavy stones after refusing to enter a plea. According to legend, his dying words placed a curse on Salem itself. Visitors claim Corey's spirit still roams the cemetery where his body is believed to rest. On stormy nights, a shadowy figure is said to appear among the gravestones, his form bent but unbroken. Locals whisper that his ghost is often seen before disasters, as if warning the city of trouble to come. Stories even say that before the Great Salem Fire of 1914, Corey's spirit was spotted, drifting through the grounds. The legend of Corey's curse remains one of Salem's most famous. It is said that every sheriff of Essex County has met with misfortune, from sudden illness to strange accidents, all blamed on Corey's final words. For many, this curse keeps the memory of the trials alive, turning the Howard Street Cemetery into a place where the past and present collide. Today, the cemetery is a place of quiet reflection, but the stories make it feel far from empty. Walking among the headstones, visitors often report sudden chills or a feeling of being watched. Whether Corey truly lingers or not, his story continues to haunt Salem, a reminder of injustice and the lasting power of legend. Number 10. Gallows Hill. For centuries, Gallows Hill was whispered about as the place where accused witches were put to death in 1692. While modern research has identified Proctor's Ledge as the true execution site, Gallows Hill itself became the focus of local legend and superstition. The very name carried a weight that made the hilltop seem cursed, and many Salem residents avoided it after dark. Stories began to spread of ghostly figures drifting across the hillside at night. Some described a woman in white who seemed to appear near the trees, her face turned toward the town below. Others claimed to hear muffled voices carried on the wind, as if the condemned were still crying out for mercy. Cold gusts sweeping across the open ground added to the eerie feeling, making the site a gathering point for ghost stories. Over the years, Gallows Hill became more than just a place of execution and memory. It became a symbol of Salem's tragic past. Locals told tales of misfortune striking those who dared to mock the site, and visitors often spoke of a heavy silence that seemed to settle over the area. Even though historians corrected the location, the legend of Gallows Hill as a haunted place has never truly faded. Today, the hill is part of a neighborhood, but its legend continues to draw curious visitors. Whether or not spirits roam its slopes, the name alone keeps alive the story of what happened in Salem. Gallows Hill stands as a reminder of how fear and rumor can leave marks not only on people, but on the very land itself. Number 11. Salem's secret tunnels. Beneath Salem's historic streets lies another legend, the city's secret tunnels. Built in the late 1700s and early 1800s, these passageways were used by wealthy merchants to move goods, avoid taxes, and even smuggle sailors out to ships. Hidden doors and underground brick arches stretched beneath homes and businesses, creating a shadowy world just below the cobblestones. With such a mysterious history, it is no surprise that the tunnels became tied to ghost stories. Explorers and workers who ventured inside reported strange sounds echoing in the dark, footsteps, whispers, and even the cries of men. Some claimed to see fleeting shadows along the walls, or to feel the brush of unseen hands. To many, the restless spirits of sailors, smugglers, and even kidnapped boys were still trapped beneath Salem. The tunnels also carried a reputation for danger. People spoke of those who entered and never returned, swallowed by collapsing bricks or led astray by spirits. Others told tales of glowing orbs drifting through the passages, guiding or warning those who dared to enter. These stories transformed the tunnels from practical passageways into one of Salem's most enduring legends. Though most entrances are sealed today, the legend of the tunnels still excites the imagination. Tour guides tell of their secrets, and visitors often walk Salem's streets wondering what lies beneath their feet. The hidden network remains a symbol of the city's mysterious past, a reminder that Salem's history runs deeper than anyone can see. Number 12. Rope's Mansion. The Rope's Mansion, built in 1727, is one of Salem's most beautiful colonial homes. Today, it is remembered by many for its appearance in the film Hocus Pocus, but long before that, it earned a reputation as one of the city's most haunted houses. The Ropes family lived here for generations, and tragedy within its walls gave rise to the ghostly tales that continue today. One of the most chilling stories centers on Abigail Ropes, who lived in the house during the 18th century. According to legend, she died tragically after her dress caught fire inside the home. Locals began to whisper that her anguished spirit lingered. Visitors and staff reported hearing sudden screams echoing through the halls, believed to be Abigail reliving her final moments. Others tell of seeing shadowy figures drifting across rooms or feeling sudden chills near the grand staircase. Some even claim to have glimpsed a stern gentleman seated in the parlor, thought to be Nathaniel Ropes himself. Paranormal investigators who visited the mansion have recorded unexplained sounds, footsteps, and mysterious photographs showing figures not seen by the eye. Today, the Ropes Mansion is open to the public, and many tour it to admire its architecture and gardens. Yet for those who know its history, the house feels alive with echoes of the past. Whether Abigail truly haunts the halls or not, her story ensures the mansion remains one of Salem's most unforgettable haunted landmarks. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.